party is on the way down, Tina.
All right, guys, today we are headed to Cincinnati. I've never been to Cincinnati before, but I had this epiphany. I was laying in bed, and I don't know for what reason. This event called Flugtag, Flugtag, I don't know what it's called. It's I think it stands for the aviation version of cliff diving. This was in Texas about 10 years ago, and I just got to thinking, I wonder when the next one is, and I got on my phone, and it said it was tomorrow. This was yesterday. And it said it was in Cincinnati. And I was like, you know what? I got kind of a quiet weekend, so I decided I was going to hop my plane, and we're going to fly to, I think, Lunkenfield, KLUK in Cincinnati. I'm currently in Arkansas just stopping for fuel, and there's a little bit of weather here I had to figure out. But let's go to Cincinnati, and let's go find out what this Flugtag thing is all about. Alright, we got lots of fuel. We've run a long way. Let's get some things situated. Fuel pumps on. Mixture rich. Trim. Set for takeoff. And we got our coffee. Why is coffee not on the checklist? Because coffee should always be assumed and then consumed.
The flight out was pretty uneventful. There was a little bit of rain here and there, and I followed a couple of large thunderstorms, but they managed to stay ahead of me. Once I got closer to Lunkenfield, I got under a layer that was in the area and followed the Ohio River in. It was pretty down low, but unfortunately, not a whole lot cooler than back home in Dallas. Alright, I've completed my flight. I am in Cincinnati. That was a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. A lot of interesting weather. But 20 Papa is on the ramp. We'll be tied down for the night. Uber will be here in 5 minutes. Let's go Flugtag. This is just a small section of the crowd. Up above the seating area was a park filled with people. If I had to guess, I'd say maybe 5,000 in attendance. Basically what happens is these crazy people build aircraft and push them off the edge. The goal is distance. Some planes were legit, and some were just people jumping into the water with junk from their garage. I'd say about 50% of it was for fun, and 50% were in it to win it. And now your Flugtag aircraft crashing montage.
Coming apart as it was on the way down, Tina.
Flugtag means fly day in German, and because it's an international event, it was a pretty big deal that it was held in Cincinnati. Live in downtown, Paige Barnes, Local 12 News.
Yeah, that looked like a lot of fun. Now the team's distance is based off how far the pilot's head travels. No one was reported injured during the landing, so that's a good thing.
It's worth pointing out that at the Flugtag in Cincinnati, there was a significant tailwind. Nobody really had a chance at all to get any distance at all. You can see here to my left, there's some videos of some past ones where people have gotten a significant distance. So the wind obviously plays a factor, and it's not like they really push this thing into the wind. I think it's more really about fun. This last one here, I think this might actually be the record. This guy just kept going and going. Also worth noting, you heard the woman say it's not about how far the craft goes, it's how far the pilot's head goes. There were a few people at this one in Cincinnati where they were just kind of going off the edge in their plane and then just leaping as far out as they could. So that's kind of the extent of the Flugtag stuff. The trip took an interesting turn, and so let's change directions a bit. All right, it's time to talk about coincidences for a second. I got the idea to come here and see this Flugtag event yesterday evening about 8. I randomly looked it up on the phone to find out when the next one was. I'm not even making this up. It said it's tomorrow. It's in Cincinnati. I said, I'm going to fly to Cincinnati tomorrow. Cleared it with my wife. She said, yeah, go ahead. I land for fuel today. And while I'm at my fuel stop, I get a text from Dirtbag Pilot. It's a response to a text that I sent him while we were at Oshkosh. I said, hey, I've got an idea for a collaboration. We should do this. And he never responded. Today, while I'm at my fuel stop in Arkansas, I get a text from Dirtbag Pilot that says, oh, I wish I'd caught this. I think that's a good idea. As a joke, I said, well, you wouldn't happen to be going to Cincinnati today, would you? He said, I'm there now. And I said, oh, I'm going for the Flugtag thing. And he goes, yeah, it's about to start. I'm in the front row. Come meet me. So crazy, crazy coincidence. This was a spur-of-the-moment trip. And then the fact that he was here, and then just now, Dan Milliken tells me he's here. His airplane's at the same airport that my airplane's at. So I'm in Cincinnati. I planned this trip less than 24 hours ago. Dirtbag Pilot was at the same event I'm at, and now Dan Milliken and I are going to get together and go grab dinner. So this is multiple times also with Dan and me that we've flown halfway across the country to hang out with someone who lives a few miles away from me. So let's go find out what Dan's up to.
Okay, this is what general aviation pilots do all the time. Is that we travel all the way across the country, like 1,000 miles, just to say hi to somebody.
Howdy, neighbor.
Who you can see at home 30 minutes away.
This happens a lot. Yeah, Dan and I live, 20, 30 minutes apart, and we mostly only see each other when we're 900 miles from home.
So here we are in Cincinnati.
It's really good at it.
All right, so what nobody knows is Dan is a borderline world-renowned pinball aficionado. Oh, Dan says he's a world-class pinball player. Look, he's looking up the rules.
No, I'm actually logging in.
Logging into what?
To Stern. It'll track all your scores and everything.
This is next
And
level
your stats.
nerd stuff, Dan.
Brad's even nerdier.
Look how
Who do you think I learned this from?
That's accurate.
super serious. All right, so for me, pinball's always just been a game about how long I can keep the ball in play. That was pretty much up until this night. This got competitive pretty quick, and I'm a little embarrassed to say that once you start to learn the rules and the goals of the individual machines, it can be quite addictive. We got really, really competitive, and the scores got crazy, and the trash talking got wild. So I think I like pinball now. So obviously it was really cool to get to see Dan out there and learn about his pinball skills. That was fun. I'd mentioned this creator called Dirtbag Pilot. Some of you probably may not know who he is because he's predominantly a short form creator. I try to encourage him to come over to the YouTube side of the world. But if you're looking for a creator to follow and you are, if you do follow short form, TikTok, Instagram, stuff like that, you should check out the Dirtbag Pilot. He's really funny. He's got a pretty big following over on those platforms, significantly larger than me anyway. But if you're on those platforms and you're looking for someone funny to follow, I definitely recommend it. Here's a couple highlights from when he and I sat down to chat and get out of the heat. If you are on TikTok or Instagram, you probably know
The Gram.
The Gram. This is the Dirtbag Pilot, not Dirtbag Pilot. I was looking for Dirtbag Pilot. It's the Dirtbag Pilot. So
I talked to Dirtbag Pilot on Instagram. He wouldn't give up the name.
Oh, really? For real?
Yeah. Offered him $20.
Did you really?
Yeah.
So what do you think of, how do you pronounce it? Is it Flugtag?
I think it's Flugtag.
Flugtag, and it means?
German for flying day.
Flying day. So what do you think?
They never had a chance because they had like a 10-knot tailwind. Nobody was getting lift. It was just a sled ride right into the drink.
So you flew in you're right up there by Oshkosh, right?
Yeah, Appleton.
Appleton.
Flew from Appleton to Ohio. I was going to sleep on an airport couch, but Ohio apparently locks their FBOs at night.
Okay.
So I made it to Sporty's, and they were locked up, so I threw the sleeping bag under the wing and slept there last night.
So your plan your plan was to find a random airport and sleep on the couch?
That was plan A.
Do you just call the FBO from the air and say, do you have a couch?
Oh no, I never plan ahead.
Okay.
What I do is I get on ForeFlight, and if it's all along the path, then I click on it, and then I check the comments, and if I get a good feeling about it, I'll just add to route.
So for other pilots out there that want to go to a random airport and sleep on the couch, are you leaving reviews after you leave saying there is a nice couch here?
I've been meaning to.
Well, thanks for letting me talk to you.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, we'll see you over on TikTok. So all in all, it was a really good trip. Was it worth 12 hours round trip and dollars in nav gas? Just for the Flugtag event, maybe not. But to get to spend some time with friends and for the whole journey, it was worth it to me. So I enjoyed myself. The only thing really left to do was to get up super early in the morning and head home. So I planned on being home by lunch, and that was pretty simple. It wasn't simple at all. I was kind of excited to use my instrument privileges today, but then this happened. Can you see my plane? No, you can't. There's an FBO over there. It's interesting. It's foggy, but it's so thick. It's like having your face in a vaporizer, humidifier. Everything's wet. The only thing left to do at this point was pace back and forth, scrolling through various weather apps, trying to find just one that said this was VFR. In the end, I had to wait until it was safe and legal to depart. It became VFR, but the airport was still reporting IFR, so I did file. I'm actually starting to prefer filing just because I feel like there's less to worry about when they're routing you. The flight home was pretty uneventful. There were some storms along the way, so I did get a little bit of IMC. At one point I did divert due to weather and ended up stopping at an airport that had some super cheap fuel, so that was kind of cool. The rest of the flight was simple and uneventful. Thanks for watching.